Braves country. It's Coach Ken Anderson, kind of your hardcore Braves. I got my main man Ryan on here. How you doing tonight?
Well, the Brewers series went about as well as me and you expected it, but they were able to pull one out in Game 3, thankfully. So could be better, but could also be worse. So I'm doing all right, buddy. How are you doing?
We had a good discussion before we go on here. We're going to talk about it. It's really a weird team. You can look at it all kind of ways. There's no way to point to October. We did say when we left you, if they could somehow get 2-2, we'd take it. So we're going to have to take it because they did nothing offensively to go 2-2. They did everything pitching wise to go 2-2, so they probably finished where they needed to be. We will touch on the White Sox game first because we haven't talked about it. Me and Ryan hadn't had a chance. It sounds like the same script. Rinse and repeat. This time it was AJ Smith-Shawver. He goes out and shoves. The only way they scored was the only way they get in trouble was they had a couple of bunt plays. AJ got a little tore up. He got a little tired, but he pitched great. It was good to see AJ back out there, Ryan, and he looks like he may be somebody like we said he should probably eventually be either the number 2 or 3 starter in the postseason.
Grant pitched the White Sox game.
I mean Grant, excuse me,
Yes.
Grant. Yeah, Grant pitched it. Yeah, AJ pitched again before, but yeah, Grant pitched, and Grant pitched good, one hitter. Yeah, Grant pitched one hitter. Sorry about that. Yeah, Grant one
Yeah,
hitter.
he threw the ball really well. Like, yeah, look, if we had any bit of run support for him, Walt probably would have let him go out there and try to finish the seventh and eighth inning. But I mean, his stuff looked really good. He was attacking the top of the zone, touched 96 a few times in the game. So Grant looked really good, and we needed that out of Grant. I mean, bullpen was taxed. Morale, me and you thought it was going to be just an absolute snooze fest in Chicago, which it pretty much was. But for him to go in there and give the boys 6+ innings of really solid work and not to give up anything but the one hit is really, really impressive. The Braves really needed that, and he was able to help lead us to a win.
Yeah, the White Sox had played the Cubs, so we knew they were going to be a little lifeless coming out of a big series like that, and we'd had our butts drilled by Minnesota. So it was good to get the win. The offense was Mauricio Dubon getting on base and Austin Riley driving him in. That's how we got our 2 runs. Um, that was about it. We had nobody else in the offense that did anything that game.
No, that's literally it, guys. Between Alston and Dubon, you had the 5 hits and the 2 RBIs and the 2 runs scored. So there's really nothing else to talk about, unfortunately. Everybody else kind of looked like booty cheeks.
No, and we're going to try to do a really good postseason recap. The White Sox cannot win the World Series. They're got a good young team. It's a good story, but that team cannot win the World Series. But we go to Milwaukee, and the team that can win the World Series are the Milwaukee Brewers. We got on a little debate, and we'll get to them when we talk about our postseason talk. But part of the reason they win the World Series, they have Jacob Mizorowski, and Jacob Mizorowski throws great. There was a funny part. Ryan missed it on ESPN tonight. They had a little leaguer asking Chris Sale questions about how he prepares for game, how does he work his pitchers, and whatever. And Chris was giving him the whole thing, and he asked Jacob Mizorowski early in the day, and Jacob Mizorowski says, "Just throw it middle, and see what happens." Well, you can do that when you throw 104 and 105. But he pitched outstanding. Chris Sale pitched good. It was everything you thought was going to happen in the game. What did you think of the 2 pitchers?
Both pitchers looked really good. There's nothing you can say about Chris Sale's outing. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, a good bit of strikeouts. I mean, that's what you expect out of your ace. Go out there, give you 6, 7 innings, give up 2 earned runs or less, and he did that. You just knew, like, you knew if the Brewers got a lead with Miz on the mound, it's going to be hard to come back from that just because that's the best pitcher in the National League, unfortunately. Just like if we would have scored 1 or 2 runs off Mizorowski, it's going to be hard for the Brewers to come back off of one of the best pitchers in the National League. So it's kind of whoever draws the first blood was really going to have a good chance to win the game. Unfortunately, it did not go our way, but both pitchers pitched really well. They both had their really good stuff. Miz, I don't think he was quite throwing 103, 104, 105, but he was definitely touching 101, 102, 99. So, I mean, he still had really good stuff. His slider and cutter looked really good that game. So, he had his good stuff. The Braves, they've been going through it a little bit offensively. So, unfortunately, they just didn't have much for him.
No, the one thing they did, only thing they did for Ryan's hip coil report is they did get his pitch count up. They did take pitches. They got a lot of pitches, so they're able to get him out of there. Got to the Brewers bullpen, and that's no cup of tea. That bullpen can throw, but we had our chances. Seventh inning, we get a couple on, leave them. We end up going, I think, 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position because one time we got our hit with runners in scoring position. We did not score, but Michael Harris gets a big base hit in the eighth. We cut it to 2-1. Bases loaded. Mauricio has a really good at bat. He goes 9 pitches, hits a line drive to the right fielder. Just one of those things that kind of right at him. Goes either side. We may win the game. I felt like that was the ball game. We weren't going to do anything in the ninth inning. We did have our chances late, but this offense is just. Brian brought it up when we talked previously. The Brewers have really good approaches at the plate. The Braves don't. And so when you see that really show up, guys, is in the games like this, and the Braves have to get this fixed somehow, is the Brewers are able to manufacture 2 runs, the Braves can't. And I know, Ryan, you want to talk about that. That is a really big, what's the difference between these two teams and how one team can score when they're not hitting home runs and one can't.
And that's the one thing that really bothers me because, I mean, look what we did so early in the season, Ken. We did really well. We hit with runners scoring position. We did the little things. We were getting the sacrifice flies. Like we did, we didn't just need the long ball to score. We scored a multitude of ways. And right now it just feels like if we don't hit the long ball, we don't have really that much of a chance to score runs right now. It's just because of the approach. Like if you watch the Brewers they didn't get to Chris Sale, but they made Chris Sale work where he couldn't go super deep in the game, and then they got into the Braves bullpen, which then carried over for the next 2 games. The Braves did get Mizorowski out, but Brewers also have one of the deepest bullpens in all of baseball, and the Braves is a little short right now because Suarez is down and Iglesias hasn't been himself lately. But it's those little nuances are where you're going to see it come up as in the postseason. If the Braves can figure out how to really hone in their approaches and really start making pitchers work and getting deep into counts and having good at bats and doing the little things that they need to do, like with a runner at second base, getting them over to third with less than 2 outs, and then driving him in, they're going to be good. They're not doing those little things right now. They're having God, I can't tell you, Ken, how many times from Minnesota all the way to the end of this road trip, how many piss poor at bats we had. It's just mind numbing. It was so mind numbing. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chad. I didn't purchase anything for ESPN to watch that last game. I watched the highlights before coming on here and talk to Ken. Like, I just didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to pay to watch piss poor at bats. And Tyler Mahle, I'm glad he did pretty good, but overall, Ken, the offense has to improve their overall approach if they're going to do good in the postseason. If they keep doing what they're going to do or what they've been doing, it's not going to be pretty for us when October rolls around and you're facing 2 to 3 aces right back to back to back, because that's what you're going to see in October.
I agree. And when we get after we do through the 3 games, we're going to talk about the 8 teams that can win this thing. Excuse me. And a Phillies guy told us something tonight, and I think that's what he's kind of hinting on was Ryan's point, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Game 2, rinse and repeat. Bryce Elder goes out and gives us everything he's got. He pitches well. They're able to manufacture some runs off of Bryce. We had nothing Saturday. At least we looked like we had a pulse a little bit Friday, making Jacob work and whatever. Logan Henderson, I like him a lot. I do agree with Ryan. He is hittable if you have the right approach. Zero. We had the zero wrong approach against Logan Henderson. We made him look like a Cy Young. Ended up being 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. I don't even remember we had that many at bats with runners in scoring position, but we were. Logan dominated. We just never were really in the game. Now, look, in the game for Bryce, to give Bryce some credit too, we had some kind of weird looking defensive plays as well behind him that allowed runs. What was your just overall game 2 take? I know you're going to really talk about the hitters. If I can talk about the hitters, I know Ryan will. Really terrible approach against Logan Henderson there.
Horrible. If y'all listen to the hip call, our thing was he's got good ride on his fastball, but it's 93. His changeup is his best pitch, and he's going to use it. You got to get the changeup up. If you get the changeup up, it's going to flatten out, and you can do some damage on it. They left so many hittable changeups up in the zone. It made me sick. Like that. You should have only been looking at the top third, top half of the strike zone, and anything that started, high like below your top of your thigh, you should have just let it go automatically. Because even if you're gonna have to make you paint the bottom of the zone down there with a fastball before you go after anything else. Like if I'm a hitter, I'm like, I know your weapons, your changeup, and your slider, cutter, your breaking ball that you want me to chase below the zone. You're gonna have to earn my respect with a fastball location down there before I go offer. Otherwise, I'm hunting you up top. They just didn't do it, Ken, and Mr. Henderson absolutely ate him up. Bryce, I thought, threw the ball well. I mean, he didn't give up a ton of runs. He gave you what Bryce Elder gives you. I mean, I don't know what else you really could ask out of Bryce. I think the Brewers scored a couple runs late in the game too, and that really kind of just put the nail in the coffin. And the Braves offense just looked absolutely pathetic. So I knew. I think it was like in the fourth or fifth inning we had a good bit of chances to score, and we were just leaving so many hittable pitches over the middle of the plate and just chasing shit out of the zone. I was like, we got no shot today. These guys just don't have a clue what they're doing at the plate. So it was a tough game two. Is why I didn't watch game three. I just had enough of it at that point, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Braves country. I mean, even the diehardest of fans have talked to me and DM me. They're down a little bit, and they have every right to be. Uh, After that game, we were 5-15 in the last 20. Uh, Put out it feels worse than the 5-10 in the last 15. It feels worse than the 4-14 stretch we went through. Just because we know what the team is capable of. He did finally change the lineup going into game three, which was good. Drake just can't hit in the leadoff spot. I mean, Drake does not enough. I don't know who you're going to put there. Wade says, let's just go put Michael Harris against lefty on lefty. We're going to try everything we can. I guess we're going to get to some of the thoughts around the country about their own teams. I think Walt needs to look at our team as well. But in this game here, let's talk about Tyler Mahle. Tyler Mahle, AA gets all the roses here. This guy has been nothing but excellent from us. He got pulled in the sixth inning because Andrew Vaughn did a headsy play. Hint, hint, sarcasm. He used his head to get out of a double play. But I thought Tyler Mahle threw the ball great. He actually didn't have his best stuff, but he got through the Brewers lineup and threw the ball well. He's been kind of a lifesaver for us.
He's been incredible. I mean, this is what he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs every time he's been out there. Knock on wood. So I mean, I watched the highlights today. His splitter looked really good. Fastball played up really well at the top of the strike zone. He's touching 96 at times today. I mean, kudos to AA for pulling the trigger on that trade because I was hoping maybe he'd go out there and be like another Bryce Elder. He's been our number two, arguably. Like I don't know where we would be. I don't know where the state of the bullpen would be without Tyler Mahle right now. Like he has absolutely eaten up some innings, and not just eaten them up, but he's pitched solid innings. I think he's given up maybe 4 or 5 earned runs since he's been here, and it's
Yeah.
been 4 or 5 starts now. Like he's throwing the ball extremely well. Like if we're rolling in the postseason, he's your number two. He's solidified that right now, unless something really goes wrong in the next 5 or 6 weeks. But you're going to see Sale in one, Mahle in two, and he has earned every bit of that going into game two right now.
The one thing we did say is that it has said about the pitch mix is just like Jeremy's hit on his pitch mix. His fastball does play in the postseason up here, up riding. Let's get to how we scored. The one guy who did hit on the road trip was Mauricio Dubon. Mauricio Dubon was consistent. He had a big double that got us going, 1-0. They were able to tie the game on Mahle. Sean Murphy, God bless him. He's just not a good hitter right now. We can all pray that he gets back to some sort of form. Let's just make him a defensive catcher. He's a great defensive catcher and a great pitch caller. He somehow gets jammed on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm sure he's even laughing on the plane. Hits a ground ball down the line. Thank you, Joey Ortiz. He slipped somehow, and we score and go up 2-1. And then offensively, A little bit better at bats. Ronnie had a good night tonight. That was good to see. He had good takes, good bats. And then the dagger in the game was Michael Harris. And he used the hip coil game plan. We appreciate you, money, paying attention. And he hit the hanging slider, kept his hands back. That was pretty much the offense. The one guy who was really bad tonight was Matt Olson. Two double plays. He swung at pitches out of the strike zone. Then he had two strikeouts maybe after that, maybe three strikeouts. He just had a bad night altogether. And we said this on the last recap. We can't. Matt's going to have to hit in October. Well, he's proved to me if he doesn't hit in October, this team's not going anywhere, Ryan. But what are your thoughts on the team offensively tonight?
God, and you know how much I hate saying that too. That we have to. It's nothing against Matty. Matty's a great player, and I'm not saying that he can't be the anchor of any team. But what I'm saying is we got guys like Riley, Ronald, Drake. You have all these guys who are perennial all stars or should be perennial all stars who just can't pull their damn weight this year. And you're relying on Matt Olson to do all the heavy lifting, and that's just not fair to Matty. He's only had one really. I mean, you can add Drake. It's been Drake and Michael pretty much consistently there, but even them when they go in their lulls, it's for a while. Ozzy's been in a huge lull this year or in the second half. He had a little bit better of a series, but again, he's still not making consistently hard contact. But yeah, there's no doubt, Ken, that we're going to go as Matt Olson goes in October. If he's going to be the big bat in the middle of the lineup, we're going to have him producing in October because you can't rely on Ronald, can't rely on Riley consistently to do that. Dubon's a streaky guy. You know he's going to put the ball in play. He's going to give you everything he's got, but he's not going to be your big thumper. So hopefully we get some guys hotter going down the stretch that can really help out Matty O in October. But we're definitely going to need the big boy to be big in October for sure.
Yeah, to give you the reason, Matt Olson has had two streaks where he's under 600 OPS or right around 600 OPS. One in June, we know the June one. They went 2-9 in that 11 game stretch, and he's had this road trip here. They went 2-5. That's 4-14 when Matty is off. And to Ryan's point, that's on you, Ronnie. That's on. Now look, you can't use them. They were hurt. Some of them were hurt. Drake was hurt coming off an injury. That's on them. They got to pick him up a little bit. Matt tends to rise to the occasion in big moments. I think he'll have a good October, but it is something to keep an eye on as we get closer to October. That this team is not really, they're 10 games under 500 when he's not doing well, and they're 31 games over 500 when he's hitting 800 OPS. That's a pretty staggering number. It's Aaron Judge's number, like the Yankees. So, all right, so let's get to how the game closed out. Didier Fuentes threw 100 miles an hour. I think the little rest from the pitching really helped him. He looked back throwing the ball hard. His splitter had movement. Dylan looks rested again. His slider, he did have a bad pitch to Christian Yelich, but Christian Yelich's a great hitter, so we'll give him credit on that. He threw the ball well, and then here comes Iggy. Iggy did throw the ball well to Suarez to get out of a tough spot. He got him to pop up. I mean, Suarez probably hit the ball 100, 500 feet off the top. That Gary Suarez is a terrible hitter. So he gets to the ninth. He can't pitch a clean ninth anymore. Single, walk, gets out of it, and his butthole must have been tight because he threw a ball that he was supposed to throw about 60 foot to second base, 43 foot. And Rachel Dubon made a hell of a play, turns the double play to get out of there. What do you think about our relievers and just really Iglesias? Really concerning.
Didi looked really good. Dylan Lee was hit 95, 96 on the radar gun. He just left a couple pitches out over the middle of the plate, which did him in a little bit. But I don't know what to think of Iglesias, man. He worries me. I'm worried about Iggy. I mean, and I know he's had a few days. I mean, God, I know he's had to have a few days off with as much as we've been losing lately. So at 91 was like what he was averaging on his fastball, and even at one point ESPN registered it as a changeup, the one that William Contreras almost parked into right center field for a game-winning 3-run bomb. So it's not really good for Iglesias right now. He needs to figure it out. He needs to figure out if it's a mechanical issue, why he's losing so much velocity, or if he needs to go visit the old doctor to go rest his arm for a little bit because 90 ain't cutting it right now. Cannon, you're dead on. His butthole was puckered up so much he couldn't move his legs. So he could barely get his arms to throw the dang ball. Holy cow. But luckily, we got an athlete out there at shortstop to scoop the ball and then throw it over to Olson, who also had to bail out Mauricio Dubon on a throw. So good defense around the horn to end the game, and thank God they did because we needed that win so bad.
Huge win. So we go 2-5 on the trip. We end up going 3-3 against the Brewers, which we thought tiebreakers, whatever. We're four back of the Brewers and or five back of the Brewers, whatever it is. It's not going to matter. Me and Ryan have went over the schedules before. The Braves are probably locked into just trying to win the division and get a 3 seed. They're going to keep talking about all of that. I like Michael Harris's interview on the field and after the game. They just got to go play day by day. And then where they go is where they go. And this is all going to come down to October, and we'll get to that. We have to have a series MVP and a play of the series. It's kind of a weird series. What was your play of the series?
I'll try to be positive this time. The play of the series was Mauricio Dubon and Matt Olson bailing out their closer and good friend Rosel Iglesias to get the win because they desperately needed it. So that's my play of the series. Is that one, buddy?
All right, he took the defense, and he knows I love defense and pitching, so I'll do the hitting for here on the play of the series. I'd say was Michael Harris hitting the home run to give a little bit of length, an extra insurance run. Andrew had texted me. And Ryan has not heard this yet. Andrew texted me, "We really need a score here," and it went to the ninth. I said, "Copy and paste from the last 62 innings, Andrew." I feel like we've been saying it every inning on the road trip. So I'll go that. Who's your MVP of the series?
Mauricio Dubon. He's
Yeah.
going to be my MVP. Now, that's just the Brave MVP. And for the Brewers, the one guy that was just all had his fingerprints all over everything, it felt like, was William Contreras. I think he had I don't know the stats, but every time I looked up, he was hitting the ball hard somewhere in the ballpark, and he was coming around first base. So and I mean, you could also go to the Brewers pitching staff, but I'm going to go with Wild Bill for the Brewers, and I'll go with Dubon for us.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to give him some love. We hadn't done it yet, so I'm going to give Tyler Molly some love and make him the MVP in a big game. They needed a win. That's what your number one and number two is supposed to do. They're supposed to stop winning losing streaks. He did that. It's a 2-game losing streak that he stopped. So I'll go with him. I'm like you with the Brewers. I think it's Little Will. I mean, he doesn't like the Braves. I don't care what he tries to say. He might like some of the Braves players, but he doesn't like AA probably, and he wishes he hadn't been traded. So that's how it goes. Before we get into the next series, let's talk about the teams. There's 8 teams that we have identified, and I think we identified them very early, Ryan, and I think we hit on. The American League has 2 teams that can win a world championship. That's the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees. The Yankees, because they have such great starting pitching, they need Max Fried to come back. And if Judge and Bellinger comes back, they have a chance. The Rays do they're like the Brewers. They do everything well. They have great approaches. They do well. They have one thing the Brewers don't have. They have Junior Caminero. I think you agree on that. National League is Braves, Dodgers, Brewers, Cubs, Phillies, Padres. Those are the 6. Those 8 teams. They all have holes. Kind of rank them. Who do you like, and how do you think this postseason is going to go?
I I'll go. Do you want me to do overall ranking,
Yeah, yeah.
top to bottom? Okay. So I'm gonna go Brewers and Dodgers. You can go either. They're interchangeable. I think they're interchangeable right now. It's the 1 and 2. Number 3, I think you can go with the Rays, and then right after them the Yankees. If they get Aaron Judge and if they get Max Fried back, I flip the Yankees and Rays in my opinion. Then you have the Braves right after that. Then you got the Phillies right below that, and then you have the wild card contenders. You know, your Cubs, your Padres right after that, and Diamondbacks if you want to throw them in there. And can we just leave off the American League West and Central because
Yeah.
they don't
They
deserve any conversation. They suck so bad. No
They
offense
can't
to those fans, but they're horrible.
get. They can't win a World Series. They can't. They might can upset somebody, and that would be if the Yankees don't hit or if the Rays come in and they just get a little funky. I'll say this about it. We said there's a little tidbit. Talking to one of my Phillies guys, their team changed when Luis Suarez got there. They started playing a little bit more small ball. So me and Ryan got in a big discussion on what wins in postseason. Now, look, we know home runs win in postseason, but you also got to be able to manufacture runs. Ryan brought up a really good point. In early April and into May, we're 36 and 35 since June 1st. We were 20 games, 20 games over 500 at one point. Which team shows up? Well, the team that's played since June 1st has been trying to hit home runs, correct? The team that showed up in April and May were trying to hit home runs, but also trying to play small ball. That's what the Phillies have found. Schwarber hit the walk-off home run, but to get there, they played small ball to attack Riley O'Brien to get the 4 runs to tie it. And what he's saying is Luis Ariz has kind of showed them that, you don't have to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Take good at bats, draw deep pitches, foul pitches off. And I think that that's what the Dodgers have in guys like Tommy Edman, people like that. I mean, even Freddie Freeman does a good job of fouling pitches off. And the Braves need more of that. The one guy who kind of does that is Mauricio Dubon a lot, and he does tack the first pitch a lot. But Mauricio will foul off pitches. But I think that's where Ronnie and Drake and look, Ozzy's never going to be one of those
No,
guys. But
no.
Ronnie and Drake, Matt and Austin need to do a better job. And if we can get a sac fly or a ground ball or something to get guys over, I think that's going to be the difference in the Braves because all the other teams can tend to play small ball. And that's the concern with me. The one team I think can't play small ball, and that's the reason why I don't think I'd keep him at the bottom like Ryan, is the Padres. I think the Padres are also a team that likes to try to hit the ball, Tatis and Machado. What are your thoughts on that about the Phillies guys saying that they've learned how to play like the Braves did in April and May, and that's made a big difference for them?
Yeah, I can definitely see that for them. I am curious though if it stays because I think the Phillies did a really good job of that when they got on their first hot streak. Right, they were having really good at bats. They were putting the ball in play. They weren't just trying to hit homers. And then when they slumped, it kind of goes hand in hand. When you get away from your approach, Ken, and you don't, and you're just trying to hit the long ball, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So it's definitely look. I'm not saying the long ball doesn't play, but if you're consistently going up there and you're like, my approach is to hit the ball in the right center field gap if I'm a right-handed hitter. Get something that you know you can handle. Look in your spots where you know the ball is gonna. If it starts here, it's gonna finish here, and I can do a pretty good job of trying to drive that ball into right center field. Like if you're gonna do that, you're gonna take the pitches that you shouldn't be swinging at anyway, and then before you know it, the starting pitcher is going to have 85 pitches in the fifth inning, and then he's going to be coming out the door, and then the bullpen's coming in. And that is absolutely huge. Look, October, you're going to get days off, but you're going to lose effectiveness over those days. If they're throwing day after day after day, you're going to see them a lot. You're going to get used to them. They're going to get a little tired. Their stuff's going to flatten out. So the better at bats that you can have against any starting pitcher, you're going to probably put up a whole lot more runs. B, you're going to drive their pitch count up where you're getting back into that bullpen, and that's going to play a bigger role later on in the series. So that I see why Chipper is such a big approach guy and not just mechanical person. It's approach plays such a bigger part in the game because it's not just your at bat that you're affecting. It seems like if our leadoff guy has a really good at bat, then it follows, and then it follows, and then it follows. Or if somebody starts an inning and draws a walk on 6 or 7 pitches, and the next guy has a 3 or 4 pitch at bat before he rips a single or something like it that, and before you know it, 3 batters in the inning, they're already at 16 pitches. It's just one of those things that these guys got to get through to themselves. Like, we got to get back to an approach. We got to go back to square one. We got to do X, Y, and Z in order to start having more consistent at bats, which will lead to more consistent offense. If they do that, the Braves can do some magical things in October. But if they keep doing what they're going to do, along with any other of these 8 teams in Major League Baseball that we think have a shot to win the World Series, if they have those approaches like we're talking about, they're going to be a big headache in October. But if they're going to try to hit the long ball, they're not going to be as much of a problem, in my opinion.
I agree, and the stats point that out. They had on this road trip, Michael hit the home run. That was just her second home run in the past 8 games. And I think they did that back to Sunday's home run. I think they only had one home run on the road trip, and they might have had two. They had one, and they went 2-5. So what? And so everybody wants, okay, give us something that's positive. We're trying to. What we're saying is, yes, the Braves can still win a World Series, but they also can get beaten a wild card because of their approaches. They proved in April and May they can beat anybody in baseball, and they have proved in other series they can beat good teams. But unless they have those approaches they had in April and May, this will be a early exit. And they have some time to get it over. They have 31 games left to get it fixed. So hopefully they will. Speaking of one of those good teams, Ryan, here they come. Here comes the Evil Empire. They're coming in. We have a day off Monday. We will be putting the hip coil out on Monday night to really try to do a good job with that. We'll film it Monday night and get it out Tuesday for y'all, or maybe even Monday night. We'll see. But here come the Dodgers. They went through their bad stretch. They're kind of coming out of it again. They're looking better. Everybody's kind of getting healthy again for them. That's good. Brock Snell's back, all that stuff for the Dodgers. How do you see the series? Here they come. And I think and I'll tell you this here before Ryan jumps in here. I had a talk, and he won't let me tell you who it is. Ryan knows who it is. I had a text message this morning from a very prominent MLB guy who said maybe he thought the Braves were playing very tight the last couple of weeks, last week in general. He thought going to Little League and playing the Little League field, the Braves could have some fun and maybe loosen up. They look like a looser, fun team tonight. They'll need to do that against the Dodgers. But what do you think? Here they come. Here comes the Evil Empire.
Do you have, by chance, the pitching matchups? I'm
I do
curious.
not. You have them. I know that it's probably Perez on Tuesday. Am I right? And then probably AJ Smith-Shawver if they get stick with a 6-man on Wednesday. I know they wanted Sale to pitch another game, so I'm kind of curious what they do with that. Pitch Sale against the Dodgers. But I do not have that. Just because we're filming right after the Braves
Okay,
Brewers game on Sunday night.
I got you.
Okay.
So Tuesday is Glass now and Elder. And then we're
Okay.
moving over here to Wednesday, Sasaki, AJ Smith Shawver. Thursday will be Yamamoto and Chris Sale.
I would say that Tuesday's not Elder. Elder pitched Saturday. I'm assuming that's a misprint. I'm sure it's Perez.
Okay.
I'm sure it's
It's
going to
good.
be Perez.
I have either one of them I'm fine with. So
Yeah.
if your Glass now is going to be a handful, Sasaki, like I said, I think we have a pretty good shot. If we have a good approach, I think we have a really good shot at doing some damage against him. And then Yamamoto and Sasaki kind of have similar pitch mixes. Obviously, Yamamoto's a whole lot better, but we also have our number one who tends to eat up the Dodgers' lunches. So it's going to be a good series. I think we have a shot to win 2 out of 3, and I'm going to be positive. We take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers and we get back on track, Ken. See, I'm being positive.
I like it. I like it. So I'm going to go with what my friend told me, and I watched every inning tonight that I could, and I saw what he said he was hoping he would see, and I'm going to go 2 out of 3 as well. I like the pitching matchups for us. We have hit Glass now before. Now he has owned us, but we have hit him. Sasaki, I'm with Ryan. If we have the right approaches, we should hit Roki. Thursday's game is going to be fun. Thursday's game is going to be like the Milwaukee game or Mizorowski and Sale. This is what we play for in postseason. This is going to be, if we play the Dodgers in game one, most likely this is going to be the matchup, Sale against Yamamoto. I like our bullpen way better than our bullpen. And even though we both have the same issue of closing games out right now, that's interesting. Lineup wise, their lineup is definitely better than ours right now. But hopefully, seeing some good things out of Ronnie tonight. Ronnie does get a little pumped up against the Dodgers. He tends to have big series against the Dodgers, so it might be coming at the right time. With that said, I'm not trying to feed you anybody. Who is going to be your pick to clip?
Ooh, pick to click. All right, it's time. It's time to break it out. It's either going to put him in a slump or he's going to go nuclear. It's going to be Austin Riley. I'm going out on a limb. I like what Riley's been doing. He's been more right center field. He's been getting on time with the fastball. He's been going to right center field, which has allowed him to get on time for the sliders. He's been doing a lot better on sliders here lately, and I like that because guess what? He's going to get a heavy dosage of from Mr. Glass now. A lot of sliders. So, and I think he does well against the changeup as well. So I'm going to go Riley, and we're going to see what happens, chat. If he fails me again, I'm banning it for the rest of the year and all the way through the postseason.
Don't give up on him that quick. We said if Olsen struggles, really the two guys who got to step up. I feel like Money and Ozzie and Drake will figure out a way, but I'm going to take the other guy. I'm going to take Ronald Acuna Jr. I think he loves hitting against the Dodgers. He loves these big games. And I'm going to go Ronnie, and I'm like you. If Ronnie fails me, I'm not picking him again the rest of the season or postseason because he's been terrible when picking. So we'll go with that. All right, so that's where we are. Y'all can write us all. Y'all can vent all you want to. Y'all vented, and we're seeing it. Me and him are the whole Hardcore Braves crew has been very busy. Andrew's been busy on vacation, but the rest of us have been very, very busy. You got any final thoughts tonight before we get out of here?
Must be nice to be on vacation, Andrew.
Yeah.
Final thoughts is I hope the Braves just go. And I said this a couple podcasts ago. Go play baseball and have fun. Just go have fun. Do your work. Do your homework against the pitchers and have your approach. But when you're out there on the field, just go have fun, man. Just go have fun. When you guys do that, you're so much of a better team than when your asshole slams shut where you can't even fit a freaking pin through it. So just go out there and have fun and relax. That's my final thought, Ken.
My final thought is they're 36 and 35 over the last 71 games. So what that tells you is they are still. I know don't throw tomatoes at me. They're still one of the better baseball teams because I have since June 1st I have not seen the Braves team I want to see play in the postseason. I don't think it's good enough to win in the postseason, but what it is good enough is to stay afloat. Time to get it going. It's time to start playing like April and May, that 20 games over 500. That's basically they were winning every two out of every three. And that starts this series against the Dodgers. The crowd will be amped up. Right behind the Dodgers come the Rockies. There's no reason why this shouldn't be a 5-1 homestand. And if you have a 5-1 homestand, I think everything will feel right in the world. And it's guys, we can all vent, but I think one thing we can't say is like we cannot say either way. The doomsayers cannot say automatically we're going to lose in the first round, and the great pie in the sky cannot say we're going to win a World Series. We have no idea. This team has showed us they can go both ways. So, for the Braves' sake, I agree with Ryan. Have fun. Go out there and play. Play every game like you're at the Little League ballpark and go have fun. I want to see Ronnie dancing around. I want to see him laughing. I want to see him having a good time. And if you do that, I think you're going to have a good homestand. And let's just beat those guys. I hate the Dodgers. Right.
God, I hate them. It's them and the Phillies. I just can't stand them, man.
Yeah. All right, we'll get out of here. Love you, Braves country. Remember, follow us, Hardcore Braves, at Braves Hip Coil, Aaron on deck, at Andrew Davison, Braves Homer, and Boyd PC. And we're out of here. Peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.